What's up, everybody? I am back. Welcome back to a new video. Please make sure to like and subscribe down below. This is one of two videos you guys will be getting today. My video later today will be about the United Kingdom general election, which is happening tomorrow. So with that being said, we're going to fill out this map, and then later today you will get my prediction on the UK general election, which is going to be slightly different from this. But first, before we fill out the map out, we got to look at the current state of the polling. Trump is up by 2.4 in the RCP aggregate. We had the debate. We had the conviction. Nothing really seems to be slowing down this man whatsoever. I mean, Quinnipiac's got Trump up by 4 by all things. I know there are some polls here that mostly every poll that's in this aggregate has Trump up by 2 all the way to 6 points. I definitely think that Trump's not going to win the popular vote by this much, but it is very possible that it does happen. And if you look at all the swing states, Trump is up by a huge margin. I think by a bigger margin in some of these swing states, Trump is hitting around 50%. Once you hit 50, it's really hard to get below 50%. So with that being said, Biden's approval rating is also negative 17. And another thing, we had a leaked Democrat internal poll that shows Trump up by 11 in North Carolina, up by 10 in Georgia, 10 in Arizona, 9 in Nevada, 7 in Pennsylvania, 7 in Michigan, 4 in Wisconsin, 3 in New Hampshire, Virginia by 0.6, and New Mexico by 0.5. So you can clearly tell that Democrats are panicking here. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill out the safe Democrat states to start things off. Usually we fill out the safe R states first, but we're going to flip it around this time. So yeah, that's pretty much Biden's floor. I would put like New York and Illinois in the safe column, but at this point, other than Maine's 1st district, I don't really see many more safe bets for the Democrats, other than maybe Colorado. That's the new Florida for Democrats. But aside from that, there really are not any new safe Democrat states that are really worth analyzing. Now, safe Republican states, let's talk about that. You got Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. All right, we're going to fix that. North Dakota, and all these states here, along with the 2 districts in Nebraska, then all these other states here. I think we could even put Florida in the safe column based on the way the voter registration from Florida has been looking very good for Republicans. I'm not ready to put Texas in the safe column yet, but it does look like it's heading in that direction. And South Carolina as well, along with Nebraska at large. There's one more state that I'm missing here. Maine's 2nd district. Knew it wasn't a state. But anyways, with that being said, now we start getting into the more crucial states for either candidate. So if we take a look at polling from North Carolina, this is the first state we're going to look at right here, North Carolina. Trump is up by 6.7, and every poll as of late has had Trump, aside from really early polls from late last year, Trump has been leading by at least 2 points in every single poll. But lately in the average, he's been leading by 5 or more. So that's very good news for him, for Donald Trump, and not very good news for President Biden. So if the polls are accurate, North Carolina will be a likely Republican state. And I'm just going to turn off the chart tilts. So that being said, I think that we can also put Georgia in the likely Republican column. If we look at Georgia, it's getting there. Or, never mind, I think Georgia's lean. But anyway, we're going to do the likely Democrat states. The only ones I can really think of are New York and Illinois, and actually New Jersey. We've been having some polls out of New Jersey that have Trump up. I don't think Trump's going to win New Jersey, but most of the polls in New Jersey have had it by around maybe very close to the margin of error. I wouldn't say it's exactly the margin of error, but I don't think that Trump will win New Jersey. I don't think we will win New Jersey. Or Trump can. I think he can win New Jersey, but it's a really, really, really long stretch to do so. Anyways, Maine at large, I think that's also likely Democrat. I've seen some polls out of Maine at large that have it a lot closer than that, but I strongly don't think that Maine at large is going to flip, especially at this point in time. But we will just have to watch closely and see exactly what happens. Next up, we're going to put Texas in the likely Republican column. This is nothing new. That's been the same way for the entire prediction. So pretty much this is the Democrats' floor right here. The Democrats have 193 pretty much safe bet votes for the Electoral College. Now we move into more of the lean Republican states. If we look at Pennsylvania, we're going to pull up the Pennsylvania polls. Trump is up by 3. I know that he wasn't leading a couple months ago, that it was the polls were kind of all over the place earlier back in April, but after the conviction hit, Trump has maintained a pretty solid lead in Pennsylvania, and it's kind of opened up a little bit. It's very interesting to see that, because Pennsylvania is a state that went from 4 to 5 points for Obama to Trump winning it in 2016, and then it went to Biden by I forget the margin, but Biden won it with 50% of the vote in 2020. So very close. Biden was up by 7 on this state in 2020, and Clinton was up here in this state by 2.3 in 2016. So if the polls are accurate and Trump is up by 3, we can officially say Pennsylvania is a lean Republican state. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to look at some of the other states here. We're going to fill out New Mexico in the lean Democrat state column. We really haven't had that many polls out of the state of New Mexico, so it's really hard to say which way it's going to go. But if this was an outright landslide scenario, I could see Trump picking it off. There are other things related to New Mexico that we could also see, like big swings in Hispanics, Californians moving to New Mexico. I know they're mostly going to Arizona and Utah and some of the other Republican states, but we will have to just wait and see on what happens. That state's going to go down the wire. We're going to have to see what happens in New Mexico. Also in the lean Democrat states, Virginia's another one. Now, we had a poll come out of New Hampshire that I already mentioned, with Trump up by 3. This is the Democrat internal. But there was another poll that came out a couple days ago that had Trump up by 2 in New Hampshire. I'm not ready to move New Hampshire into the Republican column, but it's, I think, a solid tilt Democrat for now. And same goes for Nebraska second. Based on the shifts we're seeing, I would not be surprised if Trump wins Nebraska second. We need a poll from Nebraska second ASAP, because it's really hard to see exactly what is going on with Nebraska second. It's outright ridiculous. So we're going to fill those 2 states out for President Biden. Next up, we're getting into the interesting territories. We're going to start by talking about Michigan. Michigan, Trump is up by 1.2 in the state of Michigan, so we're going to put that in the tilt Republican column, and that is going to be that state. I think that Trump may win it by more than 1.2, but if the aggregate is correct, and polling in Michigan has usually been downright awful if you look at 2020 and then 2016, it's not looking good for Biden if the averages are correct. Next up, we're going to go to the state of Nevada, where Trump is up by 2.8. I think that Nevada, you could say it's either lean or tilt, but we're going to put it as tilt in this video. I'm not real confident to say it's going to go tilt or lean or tilt Republican just yet. We'll have to wait and see and watch what happens there. Next up, we're going to go to Arizona. Trump is up by 5.6 in Arizona. Do I think it's going to be closer than 5.6? Absolutely. Do I think that he is going to win it? I do. But the question is, how much? And that's why I'm going to put this state in the tilt column. Because we have too much uncertainty and too much unknowledgement of that state. It went for Trump by a very slim margin in 2016. Biden won it by a very slim margin in 2020. Now it seems like Trump is having a very solid lead in the state, especially since Biden led here in 2020 and Clinton led here in 2016. But considering Trump is up by this much already, that's a good sign for him. And then the last swing state we really have to analyze is, the last 2 we got to analyze is Wisconsin and Minnesota. Minnesota, we're going to fill that out now. That's going to be tilt Democrat. I don't really think there's any other way to spin that. I know we've had polls that show Trump up, but I'm really skeptical about those polls as of right now. And we're going to look at Wisconsin as well. So Wisconsin, if I can even see it right here, Trump is essentially tied. They're both tied at 47.3%. But the latest polls that have come out have showed Trump up by 3. So I do say that this could go either way, and this state is a pure toss-up. I do think that Trump will win the state of Minnesota or Wisconsin at the end of the day. So we're going to fill that out as the tilt Republican. But until we get more polls in the aggregate by from Wisconsin, we really will not have any clear opinion on how the state is going to vote. Theoretically, if we're going based off of the popular vote, which Trump is currently leading in the popular vote aggregate as of right now, I do expect Trump to win the state of Wisconsin. So that's what we're going to base this off of. We're going to base this off of the popular vote aggregate, because if Trump is winning by 2, he's probably winning Wisconsin by like 2 to 3. So anyways, that's the map, and thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video later today.